here's the big news up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com that is of the maximum import. Chase Bank lifts cash withdrawals, bans international wire transfers. Ladies and gentlemen, Nazi Germany didn't even do stuff like that till, what, like 1940. I mean, this is so huge, and I will guarantee you they wouldn't want to lose that business, all that business. I mean, I wire Paul Watson. He's a contractor. I wire him money every month. I don't do that through Chase, but I do it through a Texas bank. But the point is, I'll guarantee it's going through some big wiring service that goes over the back of Chase. I mean, this is a big deal. We have the copy of their announcement, everything, and no one else is covering it. Oh, hi, neighbor. You're not going to be able to get your money out of the country. And the TSA, if you have 5 silver coins, will confiscate them. There's no law, neighbor. Oh, hi. We're just being friendly here. You're not allowed to get any of your money out of the country. And then here's another one. Crisis. USDA orders states to withhold electronic food stamps. And a new article came out about more food stamp problems. And Kit Daniels wrote a story, Food Stamps Dependency Riots Lead to Martial Law. But here's the Paul Watson article up on PrisonPlanet.com. Crisis. USDA orders states to withhold electronic food stamps. And by the way, this came out this morning, and the letters from yesterday, but the point is, we're breaking this, is that they're still gearing up for it. See, all these shutdowns and all this is about getting you ready for it. Just like Carney, the White House carnival barker, remember the former White House Chief of Staff said, we don't let a good crisis go to waste. They've clearly been with the big globalist banks and outlets threatening the credit and faith of the country. When they couldn't get the debt increase months ago, they just froze it, even though the debt was going up. This time, they hyped it. They introduced that. Obama, a week ago, introduced that. That was the signal. Well, if you don't do the debt increase, we'll get welfare checks, things will collapse. They began all this talk in the press with the communist Chinese laughing at us, saying America's bankrupt and using that for state propaganda. He started all this, and then now Carney comes out and says, how dare the Republicans. And again, folks, I'm nonpartisan. Everybody knows that. The Republican Tea Party is totally in the right on this, trying to save the country. We will go bankrupt by their system in the next year or so. With accounting, maybe 2 years, with accounting manipulations, if they continue to have a debt bigger than the GDP. I mean, we are being absolutely destroyed. And they're saying, no, the reason we have debt problems is because there's not enough debt. Remember, Obama said raising the debt doesn't raise the debt. So when we come back, first, I have Carney said this just minutes ago at a press conference that well, he has a Freudian slip. He says, well, we use this as leverage. I mean, they use it as leverage. We're not going to let them use it as leverage. And they just sit up there knowing their constituents, on average, are just helpless TV heads who were set in front of the television from birth in crap-loaded diapers with snot and flies all over them, with their parents beating them with coat hangers, drinking fluoride, eating GMO, a miracle they're even alive, walnut-sized brains, I'm serious, and just helpless, just begging Obama for goodies. I feel so sorry for them. They are walking dead. We'll be right back. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Yeah, I mean, I should have pointed out that EBT is mainly run by Chase. They are the government. And they run the vast majority of those and the whole welfare system, and they run it out of India. So you can't even have Americans employed to have a welfare system. That goes against bringing you to your knees and teaching you that old Chase cares about you and your family and that you won't be able to wire money out of the country or get money out of the account anymore. They will decide from time to time how much you'll be allowed to have out. And they said that it'll change each bank statement, too. It's just, your money's theirs. I mean, I've already gone before to get like $1,000 out of the bank or $2,000 for a trip as petty cash. And literally they act like Al-Qaeda has entered the building at a Texas bank. And you go to Bank of America or because we used to have an account there many years ago because that was an account I had as my first bank account. Well, I had another bank account in Rockwall as a kid, but that was my first bank account in high school into college was a Bank of America my dad set up for me and put a little bit of inheritance money in, a few $1,000. And I mean, you try to go in and you try to get money out of there, you are the scum because you are the prisoner. You are the bad guy. You are the person that cannot be trusted. Hey, guys, do me a favor. Print me the article that now has gone up on Infowars.com, the new one. I'll show it to you if you'd like. I was, during the break, wanted that one. It's the new story, the report that's going to come up with Darren McBreen, the Don Salazar article. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Because I just need that in my line of articles to stay on target when I get to that report in just a moment. But again, Chase says this is coming in November, and you better know they wouldn't do this unless everybody else was going to do it. So, and why not? Americans put up with their kids being taken away from them at the airport and having some weird guy with a pedo mustache and a potbelly, you know, who's got a pedo bear insignia on his arm, grab their genitals. I mean, why not? They love taking baby diapers off. So, I mean, why not? I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, you'll put up now with TSA saying if you make a joke at them, when they make jokes at you, I've had it done many times, is they insult you. If you talk back, you're going to jail, scum. They will teach you because of the Al-Qaeda threat that their bosses run publicly. That's what I always tell them when they're like, shoes off, get over here. I'm like, you know the government runs Al-Qaeda. They're like, oh, my gosh, it's Alex Jones. Get out of here. Just go through the line. Oh, my gosh. Literally, that's always the voice. Now, some of them, they're going, look, it's just a job. We hate it. We know it's all bull, Alex. Give me your signature. My wife's a huge fan. I'm going to quit working here as soon as I can. I'm looking for another job right now. We wish we could unionize. It's horrible. We know the radiation's bad. You know, that's the difference that I get. But let me just now, since I mentioned it, go to the Jay Carney press conference that's ongoing, where he had a little Freudian slip, and then we have the clip of the former White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, telling you what he really thinks. Here it is.
This was a manufactured crisis. The president's position from the beginning was that Congress ought to pass a continuing resolution at existing funding levels. He made no requests associated with that, demanded no concessions in return for signing a legislation that would extend government funding to allow for broader budget negotiations. So,
folks, the globalists that run this country, that have hijacked this nation, that literally have it captured and occupied, and that's not rhetoric. They brag about that publicly. Look it up in the Financial Times of London. They laugh at us. The communist Chinese are laughing at us, calling us their slaves right now in the news today. We're now lectured by the IMF, the World Bank, by Chase that, you know, lobbies for more welfare to administer all their little slaves that they're sending credit cards to get into debt. This is the political takeover. And he says that, that they don't use debt, but that the Republicans were using it to hijack and hold people hostage when they are maneuvering us towards bankruptcy, and the globalists use debt limits to always hold countries hostage, to get them deeper and deeper under globalist control until they raise your taxes sky high to bankrupt you on purpose, not to give money to the bankers. The bankers control all the fiat money. And then all the poor people go, we give trillions to foreign banks. I can have some free health care. There's got to be something free for me. You know, you want a piece of it, Alex? Just join the team. I mean, I'm tired of being poor. You don't get it's the system that engineered itself this way, that wants to make it worse on record to make you dependent. You people don't listen. And that's why you're in such bad shape. Now they want to make it where those of us that are smart enough to still know how to be successful in a system like this, they want to shut that down too. They don't like people like me having crew members. They don't like small businesses and operations and media groups. Everything is written and set up legislatively to shut it down by the big boys who want combines and oligopolies and monopolies on record. That's what we're facing. Do you get it? The people that wrote this, Obama supporters, are the most predatory, vicious, deceptive, wicked people that when they have their ways with the population, Halliburton got caught. All over the world, when they have a captive population like Iraq, loading people on C-130s and flying them to foreign countries to work as slaves in brick factories and textile factories. I mean, real slaves. Do you understand? Every one of these globalist companies doesn't just want the cheapest labor. They don't want the public getting anything. You don't get into their club unless you hate the general public and want to dumb them down and hurt them and see it as a war against them. But those guys then use the very mass of unwashed, dumbed down, spoiled, lazy, fluoride head people as a weapon against their enemy, the virtuous middle class, the artisan class. They are at war with us because they know historically we are their downfall. Now, you better wake up to this. In Rome, when Rome became corrupt, they knocked out the middle class. It's happened everywhere. Pol Pot knocked out the middle class. The communist knocked out the middle class wherever they were at. Doesn't matter. Fascist, knock out the middle class. And I'm here talking to the dumbos out there. I'm begging you. I know you're listening to just admit you're morons. I mean, I shouldn't talk to you like that. It's just that you got to admit you've been conned. You signed on to a Nigerian chain letter. You got scammed. Just admit it. Or as each stage of the crisis gets worse, you'll just beg even more like baby birds for Obama to vomit offal into your mouth that they stole from somebody, some third world country or the middle class. And that's only long enough to keep you in line for them to make sure they take out their enemy, the middle class. But for a lot of trendies and people that are anti-success, you guys are like, yeah, you bet, let's bring it all down. You know it's true, but you decide to join it nihilistically as if you have control over it because you accept it. Let's go to this other clip and then to our big top story today, premiering this report put together by Darren McBreen, myself, and Adon Salazar. Let's go to the head of the Park Service in a smarmy little way, covering for the White House and going, well, I did talk to them. Yeah, don't make the mistake of lying like the IRS lady, the IRS head of the tax-free groups. Admit you talked to them like, I'm going to shut them down. Is that a problem? You do whatever you think's needed. There's sweets of cake. They've had other top Park Service people say they were ordered to make life miserable by this guy. And this is the way they run their life. And boy, isn't this guy a carbon cutout of what you would have imagined the head of the Park Service looked like?
I think nothing has resonated more with the public than to see an open-air monument such as the World War II Memorial. And
is that Richard Simmons' brother?
The Martin Luther King Memorial. It just seems that common sense did not prevail. Now, you said you take full responsibility for that action. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
And did you discuss this with the Secretary of Interior, Jewel, at any time?
Yes, I did.
And did she...
Look at him closing his eyes when he talks.
You didn't discuss it with anyone in the White House?
Oh, I'm in a commando outfit.
Did you?
In several times...
You know what he's thinking about right there?
On the phone with the White House... I presented
you know
with the Secretary my decision, but it was never the reverse. So there was never any
So you discussed with officials in the White House your action, and you also discussed it with her. Now,
so Park Service Director, I discussed closing monuments with the White House. They had denied that earlier.
Yes, I did, said the rector when I was going. He discussed the closures with the Secretary of the Interior Department.
You didn't. He almost talks like that Miss America lady. It was like,
Such as Americans helping.
did you discuss with anyone at the White House? Did you? Asked the congressman. And the director, Dr. Dum Dum, went ahead and said that he did.